Yeah, I was watching Toriago. I'm glad I just left you alone. I didn't want nothing to do with that.
About way through Nassau. Adding some juxtaposition.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, that's. I tried that a couple of times myself, and that was amazing.
They don't know how to do the position. So you have to and then you do it.
This is the meeting to talk about our Holy Land trip in October, so if you're here for another reason. Get out. Look around the room right now. Look around the room and find somebody you have no idea who they are. Never seen them before. Now I want you to get up, go over and introduce yourself to them. Come on, here we go. Go introduce yourself.
Who are you? Hi. D, right?
It's with a D.
And you are? Oh, you're wrong.
Over here, Sylvia. Sylvia. Over here, Sylvia. Put that butt down.
Okay, first of all, where are there empty seats? We got a few people standing here. Raise your hand if there's an empty seat by you, please, so they don't have to stand. Over there, seat there, seat there, and carry the circle over there. Okay. Welcome to our first signed up. There's people that are signed up but can't make the meeting. We are recording the meeting for the people that can't make it, so I will send a link for people, to everybody, and then if you want to see part of it again, or you want to send it to someone, or if someone who is going that couldn't make the meeting, they can do the link, just in case there's something I say that could be important. Okay? So maybe there'll be nothing to it. Tony in the back there, and John here in the blue shirt, they do our live streaming, 2 of the 3 people that do our live streaming at 9 o'clock every Sunday. And they're going on the trip, and they have offered to do some of this for the meetings when we need them to, and also to chronologue, if that's the right word, our trip as we go, and put together, I don't know if a video is the right word anymore, but put together about an hour's long version of what we did, what we saw, what we sounded like, and then make it available with a link. Okay, so we got name tags for the Stracers and Mary O'Connor, and there's some chairs over there, and there's a chair here next to Mary Ann. There's one in front of, next to Lorna and Sandy, so. Okay, the first thing that I want to talk about is how many are going on this trip? Well, you can see there's a lot. No, I don't want you to raise your hand. I know. Does everybody got the handout from Renee? Okay, I've probably taken, I think this will be my 10th choir trip that I've taken, so I'm not new to it, although I must need to examine my head to get from such a large group. But, you know, this all started out of the blue, where we got an invitation to sing at the University of Bethlehem for their 50th Jubilee. It's a Christian Brothers-run university. It's the only Catholic university in Holy Land. And how they got to us, I think because they knew we'd taken trips and stuff before. And the invitation came through Music Celebrations International, because I had gone on one trip with them to Ireland and Scotland that didn't involve most of you in this room. So they knew of the contact, knew that we often go, and wondered if we'd be interested. So I sent out some feelers amongst choir members at first and said, is anyone interested? And there was such a positive response that I decided that I would do another choir trip somewhat closer to the one we just did, the River Cruise, just last year. So that's how it started. And of course, you don't go and do one thing. If you're going to go, you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound. So if you're going to go, you're going to spend a week and you're going to tour and you're going to see all the sites, and we're going to sing multiple other places as well. So this is how it came about. And I wanted to make sure everybody understands the pricing, because it's a little confusing until you've heard the explanation and how they determine the pricing. Because the pricing keeps changing by $100 here, $50 there, and this is why. It has to do with the number of people that sign up. So when people began to sign up, if you look at the sheet that Renee gave you, look at the very top where it says including round-trip airfare from Tampa. The Holy Land trip, if there's 45 to 47 paying, is $4,089. So you see as it goes across, it goes up if there's fewer people. Now, as soon as 45 signed up, 47, we knew we were at the $4,089. Okay, well now we got to 50 people. So 50 people means we have to start a second bus. So that's 2 buses of 25 on each bus. So that brings us to the 25 to 29. See what I'm saying? So it's per bus. So now we got to have 97 people who made their deposit, made their first payment, and are intending on going, which is good. Each bus holds 48. 48 plus 2 is 96. So we've started a third bus. So at this point, it behooves us to get another 10 or 15 people going, because it's no sweat having 2 or 3 more people on a bus, but it brings the price down for everyone. Understand?
Yes.
So,
Yeah, so technically, if there's 3 buses, but there's only 1 person that's costing the third bus, we'll split it up and it won't be 48 per bus, and you divide it by 3, it'd be less.
exactly.
Okay.
So for example, let's say we have 99 people, 97 we have, so 99 divided by 3. So we have 33 people on a bus, so the price we're gonna pay is $4,213. But if we get 10 more, for example, that's only 3 more on a bus, it'll bring the price down a little bit more. So that's where we are right now, but we have a bunch of people here that are thinking of going that haven't signed up yet. So I'm sure there'll be more than 97, but I just wanted to make sure you understood that. It's exactly the same if you decide to go on the optional extension, pre-extension, or the optional post-extension. At this point, we have 60 people signed up for the Egypt, so that's 30 people per bus. So if you look at the Egypt, that's 1548. The lowest we could get would be 1525. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And then for Jordan, we currently have 47 signed up, that's 2324 per bus, so that price is $894 according to the chart. So if more people sign up for that, it could go lower. But that's how our invoices are set up right now online. If more people go and the price comes down, then the invoice changes. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. The other thing I want to talk about, because people are asking me this all the time, and it's very important that you listen and understand what I'm going to say. And that is for land only. Several.
Since we've already made the first 2 installments, as more people sign up and the price comes down, will MCI do the,
They will adjust your portal
I
accordingly.
mean, I may owe some more money.
No, you won't owe more, you'll owe less. We're already, the advantage of a third bus, well, let me go back. I've been on so many of these trips, and you do not want a 48 passenger bus with 48 passengers on it. You don't even want 40, because I'm telling you, although you may deny it now, I'm telling you that you will pack, hey Casey, that you will pack beautifully to get there. Then you get in the first hotel, and now you're in a gift shop, or you've gone somewhere and you bought this or you bought that, and then after your first few nights in a hotel, we get on the bus and we're only going 45 minutes, and then we're going to get out and go to another hotel. So, well, it doesn't exactly fit in my suitcase the way it originally did, but that's okay, I'll just carry it. And I'll carry my shopping bag and whatnot. So now you get on the bus, and of the people that are here, half of you will have another bag that you didn't have at the airport, and you're taking up space in the bus. So it's a good thing that we're on 3 buses, because now we're down to 30-some people still on the 48 passenger bus, okay? One thing I should mention is each bus has its own guide, okay? That's another good thing. Each bus has its own guide. So rather than 48 people with one guide and 48 people with another guide, now we have 30 people or whatever with three separate guides. Typically you have what they call, at least in Europe, the whispers. And that is you have a headset and it's set to your guide's frequency. So you walk around like Pavlov's dogs, in the sense that you hear your person talking and you just go you stay with your group. You don't even talk to these people because their guide is telling you to go this way and that way. So each of us will have that. So we function as small groups. We will very rarely, if ever, function as 100 people because it's just too many. And I'll talk more about that later. Can I go on? Yes. Airfare. All these trips, the airfare is included. If you are doing the pre-excursion, then you're included and then included, they get you to Tel Aviv, where you meet the rest of the group that didn't do the pre-excursion, and then you go with the other 100 people to the Holy Land, and then we say goodbye to the ones who are not going on the post-excursion. They go back here to Tampa. It's round airfare from Tampa, and then those going to Jordan stay, and then we fly back a day later, or whatever it is, back to Tampa, okay? So people are leaving and returning at different times, a day or two off. But all of that is included in the price of the trip. Why don't we know the airfare schedule at this point? I asked that question. And right now, they're still negotiating the airfare because they believe, particularly the one to Cairo, is too expensive. So MCI is still negotiating the airfare to get not only the best price, but to get a schedule that works, okay? So we'll be patient on that, and the reason I'm bringing it up is because some of you want to go land only. Now, this is what I want to make sure you and others understand about land only. Hardly anyone will go land only. You'll all mostly go to the group fare, okay? Why would someone go land only? Well, I'll tell you. Mika is not here. Some of you know Mika in the 9 o'clock choir. She lives in Toronto. She's here in the winter. She's going to leave, attend the trip, but leave from Toronto, and then fly on the Holy Land trip, and then probably fly here, and then just stay here from the end of October on. So she does not want to take the group flight unless she decides to fly to Tampa and do the whole group flight. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that would be a reason why you might consider land only. If you sign up for land only, and in your portal, there's a form that you can click, land only form, you can fill it out and say, I want to do land only. You are saying that you will get yourself to the airport, Cairo, Tel Aviv, whichever one you're starting with, at the approximate time. The whole group is going to be there, so you can get the bus from the airport to take off on our first excursion. If you get there at a different time, you are responsible for getting yourself either to our first hotel or to wherever the group is. So until we have our airline schedule and we know what time we're arriving in Cairo or what time we're arriving in Tel Aviv, it's impossible for you to say land only and say, I'll get myself there. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, once we do know that, then you can explore that. But it's silly to give up your group seat until you have a seat on another airline. Why else would you do land only? Because you have points. Oh, I've been saving these points on my credit card. Delta, they owe me I don't know how many miles. That's a good reason. So you keep your group flight, and as soon as you know the flight schedule, then you try it. If it's not Delta, you try to get your Delta flight or whoever, Lufthansa, to match as closely as you can to the flight. And you're saving the cost of the airfare because you're using your points. Or you can use your miles. The third reason why somebody would consider land only is because we want to consider not flying cattle class. All the included airfare is coach. If you want to try to upgrade to premium economy or to business class, you wouldn't. You can do that with your own travel agent. You can do it with the computer yourself. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. But again, until you know what the group flight schedule is, it's difficult for you to do that. So my suggestion is that you just wait a little bit longer before you declare yourself land only. The other thing you don't want to do is give up your group seat until you have a seat. So even when you know the schedule and you want to use your travel agent to go on your own, another reason to go land only is because I'm not coming home from Tel Aviv at the end. I'm going to visit my long lost uncle in Norway or whatever. Then you want to do land only because you don't want to come back. You want to do your own flight. But my suggestion is not to do any of that until you know the group flight. You don't want to give up your group flight until you have a flight. Then you declare land only. Got it?
Yeah, and I'm not gonna make an assumption that the company will then credit, you know, you, because you're not going.
You talking about insurance?
No, flight,
No,
cost of flight.
we're making payments.
You're making payments, and if you've made the minimum payment, which I've suggested, you've not paid more than you would pay if you were going land only. So you don't have to worry about that. You should have paid $500 and $750, and that does not total the $2,000 of land only for the Holy Land only. If you're going somewhere else, it's even more.
Because should you assume then that we're gonna know in enough time?
I would think so. I've been pressuring them. That's the answer I got, the one I gave you. We have always known before, so I don't know. We have to wait. Some things I don't know, and that's one. Okay? So just make the minimum payment and just wait if you're thinking land only. Okay? Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
So I get that question a lot. Any questions on land only or airfare or anything? Okay, then the next thing is tips. I was not happy, but I didn't have a choice, that they have added tips in advance to our portals. Typically, we have sung our Bon Voyage concert and used that money for tips. Well, it's not going to work because either we all have to pay the tips or none of us pay the tips. We couldn't decide individually. And their viewpoint is that people would rather pay the tips with their credit card before they go than have to deal with currency when we get there. So that's why we're all paying the tips. It happened. I didn't know it was going to happen, but that's what the story is with that. And the tips are pretty hefty, you may have noticed, because we're tipping everybody. We're tipping the people that drag our bags into the hotels. We're tipping the person that gives us our room keys. I mean, we're tipping anybody, everybody. Our guide, all that is included. The bus driver, all that stuff is included. So when you make your final payment, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Yes.
When should the company know that you're not taking the post?
Okay. In terms of the pre and post trips, there was no way to sign up. There is no way for those who have not signed up yet. There is no way on the portal to indicate that you wanted to take either one. What happens is after you sign up, you all told me and I told them who wanted to take what, and then they added it to your portal. At this point, I think if you want to make a change by adding or taking away a pre or post excursion, then you need to contact NCI directly. Amy is the person. That information is there for you. Just contact her and say, I decided I want to go to Egypt, put me on the Egypt list. Or I decided I don't want to go to Egypt, take me off it, whatever it is. And she will adjust your portal accordingly. Listen carefully, we are each responsible for checking our portals and making sure that they're correct. Now some of us, including me, are not big fans of portals. If I go to a doctor and they tell me I need to find out if I'm dead or alive by going to a portal, I go berserk. Tell me, doctor, am I going to die tomorrow? So I'm not big on portals, but we have no choice. For those that have yet to sign up, you have to do it electronically. That's why I sent the brochures electronically, and it's not hard to do. I did it in 2 minutes. And you click on the blue link and you set up, but what you have to do is you have to give your email address or whatever, and you have to come up with your own password. And you have to write it down, because if you're like me, and you can check your portal 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And check to make sure everything is right, your payments have been made. Also, any trip information that'll eventually come up, it's still too early, will always be posted to our portals. So you can go to the portals to get that information, you can go to your portal to ask a question or whatever it is. Everybody understand that? All payments can be made with credit cards with your portal. When you get to your portal, there's like 4, I think, of the top headings. And if you click on a heading, it gives you all the information. The one on the left, which I sent to you already by an email, if you've already made your second payment, you click on that and it says make a payment. Now there's another one that says see my invoice. And a lot of you saw your invoice but couldn't see where you could make a payment because it was not the right one. So one on the left, make a payment. You finally found it. So, and when it says make a payment, it's really easy. You put in your credit card information, you put in the amount, and you click. You know, it's as easy as Amazon. You know, so use your portals. Any question on portals and payments? Okay, travel insurance. I gave you all that information here, but it's nothing secretive. It's all under portal. I think the second one to the left has insurance. So, unlike other groups, if you, basic insurance is included in the trip. Basic insurance is already included in the price of the trip. You need to do nothing if you are happy with the basic insurance. You only need to do something if you'd like premium insurance. Now, why would you want premium insurance? If you can look here on the second page of the handout Renee gave you, there's a chart that says insurance benefits. The standard, or the pinkish maroon, is what is included. If you want what's in the gray, more comprehensive insurance, then you need to sign up for premium insurance. Under premium insurance, you can sign up for premium insurance. You can also sign up for premium insurance with cancel for any reason. How do you do that? First of all, the insurance premium is based on the amount that you are spending to go on the trip. So if you're doing both extensions, you're spending more than someone who's doing neither extension. If you end up going land only, you are spending less with MCI than if you did the whole thing with MCI. So we do not have to finalize our insurance until 60 days before departure. So that means over the summer, or certainly this spring, you can add insurance. You don't have to do it right now.
I think it's June 1, isn't it?
Whatever 60 days is before October. So I don't think it's even June 1. But, so basically what happens, you do this all online. There's a, I think I copied it, where is it? There's a form where it's confusing. Premium plan costs. Premium plan costs. So if you're going on a basic trip, $4,000 to $5,000, it's $330, $208, cancel without any reason. So it gives you some figures here, and I'm not an expert on this, but basically, I don't know why I give it to you, but there's a form that you'll find where you put in the total price of the trip that you're spending, you subtract the $600 that's included in the basic trip, and the amount that's left, you go to the chart and figure out what you owe. Okay? And they'll help you with that. I'm not in the insurance business, and I'm not in charge of any of this stuff. If you have a question on the music, you can ask me. If you have a question on this, that's not me. So again, you can email them, you can call them. extensions, right?
Both extensions and
So yours would be the maximum.
mine will be next.
So she paid that much extra to get the premium insurance and cancel for any reason?
Wait a minute, let me, you said 370 for one person, right? 374,
One
yeah.
person.
Okay, so it's on to, $5,001 to $6,000 category.
Okay, and that's for both extra trucks?
Yes.
Regular flush.
Excuse me, quiet, please, I can't hear.
If you take the insurance, and you have to cancel for a medical reason or whatever reason, say 72 hours before, how much of the trip do you get back if you take the whole thing, prescription?
75%.
I
think it's
75%. If you have the premium insurance, right?
Yeah,
If you have right here, the standard insurance, it tells you what's included.
but that's 75% of your deposit and all of it.
Well, contact them and ask the question. I'm not an insurance business, but it's written on here. And if you go to your portal, once you've signed up, and there's all these insurance explanations and forms. Okay?
Yeah, the standard insurance covers pre, post, and regular, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, covers the whole thing.
The standard insurance covers everything, and this is what it includes. I've only gone with the standard insurance in the past, but I may reconsider with everything that's going on today. But I'm not worried about it now because I know I have till 60 days before we go.
That's the question. Is there a cutoff date and when you're planning on going on the trip, this is the cutoff date or?
If you're planning on going on the trip and you get to sign up, we have another couple of months, I think, before you can sign up. However, we are not going beyond 3 buses. So another 10 or 15 people, I'm cutting it off.
I see.
Okay? Cutting it off. Okay? Say another 10 or 15 people, I'm cutting it off. Once we have close to 40 on each bus, that's it. I don't want any more seats taken up, and we're done. And we're, you know, that's all we have left.
How many are you at right now, I'm sorry?
97.
Okay.
So 120 would be 40 on the bus, so I will not go over 120.
Jim?
Yeah.
This $300, $330 if it's between 4,000 and 5,000. You said the track 600, so is that 330 per day or what is that?
No, no, contact them and ask that question. I didn't print for you, but there's a sheet where Joan was referring to it, where you put in the total. It's a whole other sheet that you get in the portal, and you put in the total that you're spending. It says subtract 600, and then the amount that you're paying minus 600. That then you look, and that's what you pay extra. And check with them. I've never seen it like this, so I can't really help you. So I know that's frustrating. I can't answer your insurance questions. What I really want to tell you is that there is premium insurance, and it does cost extra. And if you want to do it, then figure it out. If you can't figure it out, contact NCI, and they will explain it to you.
But I think this is basically the amount that's paid for the trip.
Your insurance, the basic insurance that's included is included in what you pay. If you want to upgrade to premium, the amount of the extra premium is dependent on the amount you're spending. Because once you get to the cancel for any reason, premium insurance, you're wanting to do it for the amount of money you're spending. Because that's what you want to get back. You don't want to get back less, and you're not going to get back more. So that's why the premium is slightly different in categories, as Joan pointed out, depending on what you're spending. Now, it's not down to the penny. When you look at the form, it's like 3,000 to 3,500, this is the premium. 3,600 to 4,000, this is the premium. Or so, it's ranges, yes.
Just one question. If, let's suppose as an example, I choose to spend 6,000 for the whole thing, and cancel for any reason is 374. Is this 374 added to the standard insurance?
Yes.
So
Standard insurance is included, so it's added to the price of your trip.
added to the price of a
Yes.
trip.
So when you figure out the price of your trip, if you want premium insurance, you gotta add the extra, how much was it, Joan, for everything? $374. So Joan, for one person, paid $374 more because she's doing Egypt, Holy Land, and Jordan, and she wants to have canceled for any reason, total refundable, back for all 3 trips.
Yeah.
That's what she paid. If you're doing only 2, or you're only doing the Holy Land, the premium is gonna be less. I don't know what it is. Negotiate with MCI.
What I didn't understand was this talk about you get $600 back if you make some changes.
Now,
What
don't
is
worry
that
about the
$600
$600. The point of that is that what we're paying includes insurance, includes a standard basic insurance. So if you're happy with that, you don't have to do a thing. It's only if you want something premium. Cancel for any reason, or you want more back if you cancel than the minimum. All of it includes medical, all of it includes if something happens there, basic as well as premium, okay? But again, you keep asking me these questions, and I appreciate that you're asking them, but I'm frustrated because I don't have all the answers on that. But if you go, once you sign up, and you go in the portal, and you read it, it's all clearly there. And if you don't understand it, call Music Celebrations International. Several of you have called, and you've been shocked that they've called back within 15 minutes, and that they had all the answers, okay? So you have to be proactive and not depend on me to tell you everything. Okay? All right, let's move on from insurance, because some people have to go. All right, I already mentioned that we're having 3 buses. We will not have more than 40 people on a bus, so that's 120. We're at 97 right now. So, when does the trip get closed out? In the next couple of months, whether we're at 120 or not. Okay? If we get nobody else signed up, then we go the way it is. Okay? We function in small groups. First thing is, each of us will be assigned a bus. Typically what we do is put a color in the window of the bus, or a number, whatever. Blue bus, red bus, green bus. Some of you get lost. Some of you get mixed up. So you have to remember red bus, blue bus, one thing. And you'll be in the same bus the whole time because it gets too confusing. Okay? Number 2, all of us will be in a small group of, say, 8 to 10 people. Why? If you think that I can keep track of 120 people at the Tampa airport, you have grossly overestimated my abilities or my patience. So we will all be in smaller groups. So I'll be asking you when we get to the airport, the people in your group will be people that will be doing pretty much what you're doing in terms of where you're going. Function as a small group. So I will ask the 8 of you, for example, at the airport to check in with the other 7 of you. Here I am. I'm at the gate, ready to get on. And then when you get there and you go to get your bags, and you get your bag and you exit, I will say to the person I've said that's in charge of your group, let's say it's Gail. I'll go to Gail. It won't be Gail. I'll go to Gail. I'll go to Terry and say, have you seen Gail? No, I'll go to Terry and I'd say, are the 8 people in your group here? And she will say yes or no. And if she says no, she'll say, I can't find Gail. Last we saw her, she was on a camel headed south to the Nile. So, but seriously, I will check in with the person in charge of each of these groups, and I will trust you to tell me that everybody is here in your group, okay? So that's how we take attendance. When we get on the bus, I'll get on the blue bus, and let's say there's 5 groups on the blue bus. I'll say, Terry, is your group here? Yes. Yes. Barbara, is your group here? Yes. Tony, is your group here? Yes. You get the idea, okay? Roll them. All right? At the airport, I'll say the same thing. So don't worry about getting lost in this whole group of people, okay? You will be in a small group, and some of you need help. Can you keep track of Susie? Yeah.
Be partnered up with your roommate.
Yes, your roommate will always be with you in the Speaking of roommates, your roommate will be with you on the bus and in your group for obvious reasons, because when you check in for the hotel, you need to have your roommate handy, when you get your keys, because they'll want to give both keys at the same time. But some of you are related to your roommate, so you may be stuck with them. Others of you are have a roommate that you already like, but it doesn't mean that you only can hang out with your roommate. Because you have a roommate and you've agreed to share a room together, it doesn't mean that you have to share the whole trip with them. You are free to visit with other people and hang out with other people. I say that because some people feel obligated to hang out with their roommate, okay? But roommate, if you're a roommate that is dependent upon your roommate, try to branch out and do other things, so you're not totally dependent on them. So you don't have to hang out with your roommate.
Tim said. Tim said I don't have to hang out with my roommate.
You're gonna pay the consequences.
He's already paying it.
I don't know, Maureen decided big sigh of relief.
I have a roommate question. I have a roommate, tentatively,
Yes, you do.
and I am going on the Egypt trip, but not the Jordan, but she's going on neither.
Right.
What happens with a roommate that I need for Egypt?
Okay. We have some people that need roommates, and although I'm not in the matchmaking business, I will send out, an email of people who are looking for roommates. Some are looking for roommates for the whole trip. Some are in the situation that you're in. I just need one for Egypt. A couple of you have already realized that your roommate, say, is not going to Egypt, but you are, and you've already found someone else who's in the same situation you've already got together. So we'll try to work that stuff out. If it doesn't work out, you have to pay the single supplement in Egypt. Okay? If it doesn't work out that you can find a roommate amongst the group, then your choices are staying home and losing your money, or paying the single supplement in Egypt, or whatever it is you want to go, or changing your mind about going to Egypt. Okay? But it's no sense getting hysterical about that now. We just have all these people that haven't even signed up. We have people who want to go that don't have roommates, that have yet to sign up. So that's how we handle that. It's like the airfare. We'll have to wait and see. Okay? I know Mary doesn't want to go to Egypt, and you do. So if anybody wants to go to Egypt, but their roommate does not, and you need a roommate in Egypt, Ann over here needs a roommate, would you prefer a man or a woman?
It doesn't matter.
All right. That's the kind of group we bring.
At my age.
And remember the phrase, anything that happens in the Holy Land stays in the Holy Land. Okay, the other thing that's important to remember, probably the most important thing I'm going to say, probably the most important thing I'm going to say is, you need a passport that's valid, and it has to be valid for 6 months after the time you return. So you need to look at your passport and make sure it's valid all the way to April of 2024. If not, you need to renew your passport to go on this trip, of which there's plenty of time to do that. But look at it sooner than later, 6 months after the return. So I think that's April approximately of 2024. Oftentimes they don't even care about that, but that's the rule. So you don't want to be in Egypt or Cairo or something and find out somebody's read the small print. So everybody hear what I said about passport? Okay, the only other thing that I wanted to mention, yeah.
On the Egypt trip, you have 60 down here. Do you have 60 signed up or
Yes.
not? Oh, there are.
Yes, okay, maybe that wasn't clear. On this sheet that I gave you, It says we currently have 96 signed up for the trip. That's incorrect. We currently have 97 signed up for the trip, okay? We have some people here that hopefully will go. As you know, we'll take any more people up to no more than 120. There's about a dozen people in this room that have not signed up, okay? That's all I can tell you. How do you sign up? Is you need this form sent electronically. I sent it to you by attached to your email, or you can write it all in. And in this brochure, and this brochure is exactly what you have by email. You don't have to take it. It's not anything new. There's a section with blueprint, and that's the link. Click on that link. That's what you all did. 97 of you did, and you signed yourself up. There's currently 60, maybe even more than 60, maybe 61, 62. Last I submitted 60 names. So some of you have added it, maybe some of you subtracted it, I don't know. But there were 60 people already, at least, signed up to go to Egypt. So that's a large group. So we already know we're on 2 buses, because there's 48 on a bus. So right now we have 30 on a bus, approximately. So we'll have 2 buses in Egypt, 3 buses in the Holy Land. Now, in Jordan, we have 47 signed up right now. So it's either 1 bus of 47, or if they don't have a bus that big, then it's 2 buses with 23, 24 on a bus. I also have to tell you, and these are people that are already signed up. Okay? It could fluctuate as people add or subtract or more people sign up. Makes sense, you got it?
Yeah.
Renee, you look puzzled.
You said that you're willing to add to 10.
I'm willing to go up to 120, so that would be 23 more people.
So when you
At the
reach
most.
that number, then let us know and it's done.
Sure, I can let you know as people sign up, if I know. So that's where we stand right now, okay, which is good. Got a lot of people signed up for both. So I'm signed up for everything. So I would lead with the early group going to Egypt, and then we get shuffled off to Tel Aviv, and we meet those who didn't go to Egypt. The other 60 go to Egypt, and there's 120 signed up, and there's 60 more. We meet there, we divide in 3 buses, then you're still in your same group, you're still with your same roommate, whether you like it or not. And then we do the Holy Land thing, then we say goodbye to all but 47 people at this point. They go back home, the rest of us go another day or so into Jordan, and then we fly home together. I will be on all 3, so I will be there the whole time. Okay? Socials. I didn't give you time really to talk, but we will have socials before we go. Wine and liquor and food and stuff, so you'll have time to mix and eat. So the objective is we go as friends and not as strangers, okay? So what you make of the social is up to you, okay? You don't want to know anybody?
Drink in the corner, right? Drink in the corner.
Now those of you that are singing, and of the 97 signed up, there's about 65 that are singers, or ringing handbells, or drum players, or something. And so we will have rehearsals ourselves, so you will automatically meet all sorts of people, and you will automatically feel comfortable with the bulk of the people on the trip.
Tablets. A lot of you like to take your tablets on the trip. It's easier than carrying a book of paper.
Use it.
Most of it. So if you want to take your tablet, I'm here to help you with that. When Tim gives us the music, I'll get it in electronic form. He'll send out a link and we'll get them on your tablets for you. So come and see me if you need help. We'll get them downloaded and in order for you.
What she's saying is, I don't usually do it here, because if I'm conducting, I like the 2 pages and the music in front of me. But when I go on the trip, I download all my music to my tablet, either your Samsung tablet or your iPad. And this is nothing about singers, and you have all your music here. So what I like about it is I have my strap, and I carry my tablet around like this. Look at Marianne on a camel. So I take a picture of Marianne on a camel with my tablet. Oh, somebody says, oh, I hear you're a music group. Can you sing a song? music right here on my tablet. I have everything I need, email, so you can find Wi-Fi, you can send an email, all from your tablet. So I use my tablet more when I'm traveling than I ever do when I leave at home. The grandkids use it when I'm home. YouTube kids.
Yeah.
So Tim,
Yeah.
the singers though, are we singing from the tablet or are we memorizing this stuff?
Singing from the tablet.
Okay.
You can memorize it if you want to, but I can't memorize.
So I find out if we have books or if we want the tablet.
You can, for those of you that are singing, you can use paper music and bring it, or you can use your tablet.
Okay.
But you're not expected to memorize it. There'll be a couple things we will memorize, but they're very easy. We will have separate rehearsals for those that are singing. Typically, they've been around this time, Sunday afternoon, maybe once a month or something like that. I pretty much pick the music. If you were on the river cruise, which will help a lot of you, but not all of you, it's pretty much the same music with a couple of tweaks. They don't want classical masterpieces. They don't want Israeli songs. They want us to come with American music. They want to hear what we would typically perform here. So that's what we're bringing. We're not trying to sing what they already hear over there. They want what they don't hear, okay? So if you don't normally sing in the choir, but you want to give it a shot, you want to try to sing, just let me know. If you don't sing in a choir, you'd like to give it a try, give it a try. I heard you singing on Christmas Eve. You're welcome to give it a try and see if you want to join us singing. It's obviously more fun when you're in the choir because there's a little bit more to do and stuff. So.
Will you have the dates of rehearsals for those of us who are not part of the spirit?
Yes,
Okay.
and Jeanette, you should know that the people that are in this room don't all necessarily sing in the parish. Some sing in Key Corral, some sing at Freedom Village, Village Singers. They sing in different choirs. Some sing in the 11 o'clock choir, some sing in the 9 o'clock choir, some sing in the chamber choir. So none of us are all in one choir, so it's not like you'll be the person from Our Lady of the Angels. Everybody here is already in the same choir. That won't be the occasion. And some people will sing that don't sing in any choir, but they will sing for this. And some will ring hand chimes, and some will play the drums. We have a lot of fun.
Okay.
It is. It's worth doing because it's a lot of fun. You'll fit in good.
Now, my friend is coming from Houston, she sings in a choir in her parish. So I'm able to give her, provide her the music.
We'll provide her the music and a recording of, is she an alto or a soprano? Or
Soprano.
a recording of the soprano part for everything we're doing.
Okay, perfect. All right.
Yeah, we have some people that are preparing. For example, Lori Mills. A lot of you know Lori Mills. I always call her Stilts because she's so short. She's living in New Hampshire now after her husband died, and she's going, and she'll learn a lot of it remotely. But she went to on the river cruise, so she already knows where we're going. So don't worry about it. We'll have a lot of fun. I will give you the music, either the link or the physical published music, and I will give you a CD or a thumb drive, whatever you prefer, of a recording of every song we're singing and your part recorded. Okay? And there's about 8 or 9 a cappella songs and about 5 that require accompaniment. Carolyn Schmidt will be our accompanist. Okay? And the singing part is always the last thing to work out. You know, right now you've seen in the brochure that it's a little vague. It says concert here, but it doesn't say where. That all happens at the very last minute because the good thing about MCI is they have an office in Israel, so they have feet on the ground there. And they've made a lot, there just was a singing group there a few months ago, and they got a lot of information and made inroads and stuff there. So a lot of this stuff will be worked out. We will, for example, the Church of the Transfiguration and other beautiful sites like that, we'll probably go to church, go to Mass in the morning for a short time, sing the 4 songs during the Mass, and then continue with a mini concert for, say, 20 minutes after that. So you'll see that eventually as well. So although this isn't a pilgrimage in the sense that we have prayers and the rosary and devotions every day necessarily, you cannot go to the Holy Land, walk in the footsteps of Jesus, and not have a spiritual component. You know, when we get to the River Jordan, I think we need to know a song about baptism. When we get to the Mount, we need to have something in our heads about the Beatitudes. So, and we need to hear the scripture of where we are when we're there. And so we will provide all those things as we go. I have not been to the Holy Land, but everyone I know that has gone has said, and I quote, "You will not come back the same." And they mean it in a good way. Now, it amazes me that some people in here, Deacon Ron Ochner, for example, who's sick, he's the deacon at 11 o'clock Mass. He's not here because he's sick, but I think he's been to the Holy Land 10 times. And I said, why do you want to go back 11th time? And he said, there's no place I'd rather be 11th time. He said, there's no place on this earth I would go to 11 times, including his native state of Jersey. So now, some of you have been to the Holy Land before. Could you explain why you want to go back again? Tell me.
I didn't visit most of the places that I had envisioned that I could. So it looks like it's different with this trip.
Is it different places on the trip?
We didn't go to Tel Aviv last time. We went to the Ben Gurion Airport, that city. This time we'll be in Tel Aviv, and I like to act Tel Aviv.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I went to Israel, but it was from a cruise. You know, so you got off the ship and got onto a bus, and the only place that you had the time for, you know, was we walked the Via della Rosa. You're not going to be able to get out of Jerusalem and the crucifixion without totally being emotionally upset.
I understand that when we walk the Via Dolorosa, we can have a cross, and we can rotate carrying the cross. It's got to be powerful. Peggy, you've been, I know.
The first time I went, I actually did this exact pilgrimage with a different group. And I think the first time you go, and I've traveled a lot, it's the only trip I want to repeat. And I am actually repeating the same trip. You go more as, even though you want to go as a pilgrim, you end up going more so as a tourist because it's totally brand new. But this time I definitely want to go as a pilgrim, so to speak, and have it be much more of a spiritual experience. But it's an incredible trip, it really is.
Fran, Ed, why would you want to go back now that you've hit 60?
Wow.
The walk of the Della Rosa, it sticks most in my memory, and but you're just like you're overcome because you know that you're walking the same steps that Jesus walked. So it's it's very powerful.
Okay. Evelyn, were you?
Yeah, I've been there twice, and to be, well, number one, your Bible will come absolutely alive to you and come back, because you have been to all the places where the stories of the Bible has taken place. And to walk where Jesus walked is just such an emotional experience that people will be changed forever.
I see you have that. That's what Bill Glenn, may he rest in peace, said after going the first and second time. When we got to Holy Week and we're reading all about Palm Sunday and Passion reading and stuff, and he could picture in his head all of these things, and he said it was totally different for him. Kind of what you're saying.
It was the crowds. There were so many people. And when I realized that I was just one person and that all of these people were there because of our Lord, it was just utterly amazing to be one, united with that many Christian people. What a wonderful people.
Beautiful.
I was going to say that you just learn more and more about Scripture. Everything comes alive. And in this trip, we get to sing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is fantastic.
That's
Great opportunity.
It's a great honor and a lot of fun to sing in these places. We get very excited. And then we always have an extrovert, don't we, Lorraine? Who goes up and says, you know, we're a singing group. I don't know who might say that, you know, but did I mention maybe the right person? So the next thing you know, we're singing for these pilgrims and the people there, and then the crowd forms, and then of course, you know, one vow is not enough, so then we go on to our 2 or 3 songs that we have memorized, you know.
It's a perfect way for me to piggyback what I wanted to say.
Please.
On one of my previous trips, I was privileged to impromptu sing Hear Ye Israel from Mendelssohn's Elijah in Mount Carmel in the cave. So now you think about Elijah slaying the prophets of Baal, and there you are. So those of us that are singing, that'll be it.
Karen.
When I went, it was with my former church in Virginia and the synagogue down the street. It was a joint tour, which was so fascinating. We saw the Jewish sites and the Christian sites. And I just want to go back so much now to see the Christian sites with Christians in the room and singing in all those places. But it was a fabulous trip. We did that back in 2011, I think.
I had someone that went to the Holy Land, and she came back and said she was a little disappointed. And I asked her why, and she said she thought that it was too commercialized, and that the rebuilding and if you've ever been in Rome and went to the Colosseum, you think of the Colosseum being out somewhere. Well, there's a big highway that goes right around it, so you lose the old visions of what you had of that particular site. So I didn't know if that affected anyone that has gone there.
No?
No.
No.
And Carolyn and Gail.
Yes, I went there when my brother was studying back in Israel.
For your brother that's a priest?
Yes, and we did the tour with the seminarian, and I did not get a chance to go to Egypt. So the whole trip, I will do it twice, with the exception of Egypt. And it's like you just never get enough when you enter those churches, those places. You feel like you really know it. You are in person. So you just never get enough.
Schmidt?
I want to go back because it's been since 1981. And when I went there the last time, they had, Tel Aviv was going black at night, and they had armed guards on school buses. And since then, they've done one heck of a lot of excavation. They have at least twice the Theodore Rosa is there. They just opened the Pool of Siloam.
Yes.
Saw it.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll see it.
So I'm like taking a second trip to Italy and finding out how much more they've excavated at Pompeii. Like in Jerusalem, anytime you want to dig a hole, you're invariably going to find something that has to be excavated.
Gail?
Regarding, you can't go with American eyes, any of these places, not respect like a highway to be good or whatever. Every inch of the whole
from tomorrow. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's some flyers here you can take. We also have this very talented and humorous, like all artists are, Cato Dunn coming in concert. Half the proceeds will go towards trip scholarships. Once I got everybody there, and I think I pretty much do, then I will divide any money that's left over amongst all of us in the sense that, I mean, it wouldn't help to give you all $20 for a trip, but maybe we can add wine for a meal. Maybe I can add some entertainment to a gathering or something. So that's what I intend to do. So anything you can do to get people to come to the Messiah concert, to donate, or more specifically to buy a ticket to this, take them. That's why I put them here. And that's what the money will be used for, that you heard. But we've done really well. We've done really well. We're doing really well. So, now look at all the people who got there. If you're not signed up and you want to go, please sign up. If you want to sing and you've not signed up, please do that sooner than later because I'm nearly ready to distribute the music, publish it. I just have 2 more things to record and I'm ready to rock and roll. But as you can hear, I'm having trouble recording it, so that's a little hold up on that. So I'm ready to go and we should probably, start rehearsing, at least get familiar with the music in February, so sooner than later. Anything? Barbara?
I just had a question on the shots, vaccinations. Is there anything that we need to be up to date on? I mean, I'm old and my vaccine from gone, so is there something that?
There's nothing that's required. Like if you go to Africa, you need a malaria shot or something like that. Myself, I get the flu shot every year, and I get it in October, so I'd be inclined to get it before I left rather than when I came back, but that's my personal choice. At this point, there's no vaccinations that are required any place we're going. Now, could that change? It could change. Can I control that? No. But there's nothing required at this point. No COVID shots are required. No testing is required. Nothing is required at this point.
Are they Israeli guides that are assigned to our groups?
Yes, I presume they're Israeli, but they'll be English-speaking guides. So each bus will have its own guide. So say there's 5 of our groups on one bus. You will have the same guide the whole time that you're in Israel. You'll get to know his or her name and voice. Okay? And the guides help you with if you want to do something extra, you want to go somewhere, you're looking for something, they will tell you where you can find it. Okay? And how to do it. Marcos? At some point, MCI is going to ask you to upload a copy of your passport. And they will keep a copy of your passport, and it will be sent to the office in Israel please do not lose your passport. In the event that you lose your passport or whatever, they will have a copy of that. When we get closer, I'm going to give you all sorts of recommendations on that, and one of them is you bring with you a copy of your passport, you bring with you a copy of your credit card. I'm going to tell you about how to spend money and not to bring all your stuff. I'm going to tell you not to bring your Winn-Dixie card. I'm going to tell you not to bring your Medicare card. I'm going to tell you not to bring your Blue Cross Blue Shield. Sorry, Gene. I'm going to tell you all these things to take out of your wallet and your pocketbook. And I'm going to tell you the best way to travel that you're not a target. Okay? Which mainly is sticking together. Okay?
I also get the dates, but in March, we're having our passport event at the courthouse. I just thought about that.
Yeah.
So it's a Saturday event,
Yeah.
and it's on our website, representcourt.com. I just realized that sitting here, so if that's helpful for some.
Can you send it to me?
Sure, I will.
Yeah. And what is that for getting a passport?
Getting a passport for people who don't, we do a special day in March, a Saturday, so.
Do you know Angela? Do you know Angela? I know each other. Yeah. I thought you might.
That's all we're gonna do.
Anything? Yes.
Over here.
D. Well, D first. D and then Claire.
Is there any books or anything to prepare you for the Holy Land?
There's nothing I would recommend. I went onto Amazon and was looking for a gift for somebody who's going on this trip, and I found a book that had a lot of pictures and stuff, and what I discovered is some were a lot of pictures with a little information, and some were a lot of information with a few pictures, and I read the description of the books and made my choice. So that's what I did. But I didn't dog-ear it or look at it before I gave it as a gift. So I'm hoping the person who's in this room might share the book at some point, or I have to get another one.
Egypt required a visa when we went.
Somebody else told me that too, that they're going next month, and that Egypt requires a visa. So if that's the case, we'll hear it.
Yeah, but you can get it there.
You get it there?
Yeah,
MCI will, I'm telling you, they'll handle it.
when we were on a cruise ship, when we went to Egypt, and they did take care of that.
Yeah, I'm sure MCI will do it, but I've not heard that, but I have heard it from someone who's traveling to Egypt this month.
Well, we were traveling alone, we weren't on a trip.
Or in a group.
On a group.
Well, she's in a group. So, good question, I don't have an answer.
Inquiry, do we have, is there a mass every day because we are growing as a church?
No.
No, okay.
No, it's not a pilgrimage. There will not be mass every day, there will be masses. But we're going as tourists mainly,
Yeah.
and there's not the mass and rosary every day.
Okay. And will the,
When you get a chance to read
Yeah.
your brochure, it tells you when we have mass.
yeah. And, but
Definitely
the
on
choir
Sunday.
practices, when the choir practice, and let's say I'm not part of the choir, is that considered free time for me and I can go where?
Yes, but we don't really practice. We show up like 20 minutes before, and the questions I get is, are we going to be in 2 rows or 3 rows? And my response is, I haven't been there. But when I get there, we'll figure that out. So we get there, and we figure out where we're going to stand, and we have an antiphonal choir for some of the songs, so we're singing back and forth, so the antiphonal choir is going to be over there, main choir is going to be over here, everybody's set, yes, I'm set, show me, stand in your position, we're going to walk in singing Jubilate Deo, and this is where we go, and, okay, we got it, go. We don't spend hours, I went on a trip with Riverview High School years ago, and we spent an hour and a half everywhere we went rehearsing the same stuff we rehearsed in Sarasota. And I'm like, meantime, everybody else had free time. And I'm like, I want to have free time. So we don't do a lot of rehearsing. But what little we do, we'll have free time. And anytime we're singing, if you don't want to be there when we're singing, do what you want to do. Don't get lost. Your son will be mad.
Anything for, you need head covering, long things?
I don't know that. I know for the Catholic places in Europe, they want you to have your shoulders and your knees covered. I'm imagining in October, probably it's a little chilly, so you probably wouldn't be sleeveless anyway. You gotta think layers. Well, compared to Florida. You know, we're used to Florida, so anything less than 95 in October is cool. Anything. Yes.
The advice we got was not to dress modestly when we were in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem because of the conservative Jewish people might be spitting at you.
Well, and you know, it's true, but if you're bringing a high school group or a junior high school group, you might really have to spend time on appropriate wear. But I'm presuming at the average age of those of us in this room, we're not going to be going in mini skirts and the like. So when you travel, I always joke with Ann because she's the only one in the group that can, maybe Terry, that you two are the only ones that can wear high heels and stuff. But my suggestion is that you don't do that because when you're there, you're not trying to make an impression on people on how good you can look when you're dressed. You want to be comfortable, you want to not fall on the cobblestones, you want to not get stuck here and there, so you dress in layers and you dress modestly and you don't dress in a way to bring attention to yourself and whatnot. So that hasn't really been an issue with this type of group.
Israel is just not it's not a real huge country.
but Tel Aviv is in the south, and it's very much like, it reminded me of Miami Beach, and it's much more touristy and that kind of, but you go north into Jerusalem, and it's cold, and then you go, so you have to really be prepared for two different kinds of.
And the desert's warm in the day, cold at night, very dry.
And the thing about Israel, you've got to keep an open mind that you're going to see the sacred and the profane next to each other. And both are important to look at. 39, while you guys were talking, it just reminded me, 39 years ago this week I was in Israel.
Wow, this week?
Yeah, I spent 3 weeks under the auspices of the Jewish Federation as for educational for teachers. And I took classes, and mostly it was about the history of Israel and how it developed. And I learned 2 words, Aliyah. It was a person who is American and becomes an Israeli. They were the people who young men, rabbis who taught us. And the other one is falafel. It's wonderful. That was their fast food. So I'm so looking forward to it.
And you have to remember that people in Israel do not look like us sitting in this room, okay? The bulk of the people in Israel, you may be surprised to know, are Jewish. The next largest population of people in Israel are Muslim, and about and about 8% or less of the people are Christians. Okay, so we're going to see all sorts of different people, different dresses, different looking people. It'll be a very nice, eye-opening experience. But if you're expecting to go and see, like you go to Europe, 1 billion Catholic churches everywhere, and everybody praying the rosary and making the sign of the cross, that's not what is in the Holy Land. The Holy Land is shared by those 3 major denominations, okay? And Christianity is the smallest number of them all.
Excuse me, and if you're interested and you have PBS Passport, Rick Steves has 3 different programs. And he has done them very well, and bringing in the political aspect of also what we're going to see, and it's good to be educated in that as well. So it's not that,
I've got some, I don't know if they have Israel.
It's one of the most recent that he has.
Oh, yeah.
He has 3 programs, and one is on Palestine, one is on Israel, and one was just looking at the history of where we came.
If you can email me the information, I'll send it to everyone.
Okay.
You're all, those of you that have signed up are all on an email distribution list, so anything I send out, I send to all of you. I think I'm going to make a second one of just singers only, so I don't have to bore the rest of you with singer information, but anything I have automatically goes out to you. So I have all 97 of you, I hope. If you signed up and never heard anything from me, then the boo-boo, so let me know. Ed?
When will we see our airline schedules?
I don't know. Soon, I hope. Cairo is the problem. Anything else? Karen?
If we're going to Jordan, do we fly home from Jordan, or do we go back to Tel Aviv?
Actually, they bring you back to Tel Aviv,
Okay.
I believe. If you read this carefully, that's what I understood. I think we have a night in the Dead Sea Hotel, and then the next day we get on. I believe the flights are red-eye flights. It's always in the middle of the night when you go, but unlike other trips, it seems to be the middle of the night when we come back. So just get your sleep in between now and October. You won't get any other trip. And you don't want to sleep. You don't want to miss anything. Okay. Anything else? Okay, I'll be in touch. Sign up if you haven't. And those of you that have, when I know something, you'll know. There's flyers here. Help yourself.